What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the channel and another episode of Rangers franchise. This is going to be season number 3. Hopefully we make it to the World Series this episode. As always, if you guys are returning or new, hit that like and subscribe button if you guys are enjoying what you're seeing. I am ready for MLB 22. We're going to be trying to do some maybe single episode rebuilds here as we're ramping up free agency before the new game launches. It'll just depend on what kind of rosters I can find and stuff. But before we go any further, I'm going to tell you guys the rosters, the lineups, what we're thinking. We're going to start this video with going through the lineups and the rotation and then make a couple of roster moves, I think. I've been sitting on the last episode for a few days. I think I have an idea of what we need to do. In real life, a couple days ago, as you guys are watching this, Aaa Roster got moved. I believe we're going to do the same thing, but for probably different reasons than the real-life Texas Rangers did. We don't need a third baseman right now. At the end of last episode, we signed Adam Frazier, and I don't know that he's a third baseman of the future because we do still have Josh Young coming, and hopefully he develops quickly and is a third baseman like starting next year. But I think Adam Frazier is a better option than Kiner Falefa at this stage. So we're going to move off Kiner Falefa and also Trevor Story, who we signed in the second episode, or at the end of the first, to play third base in the second episode. And he was straight up bad last year. And I am over it. I don't personally have time to let him figure it out. I think we got to move off of him while his value is still decent. So we're going to try to move Kiner Falefa and Story before we get into things. We also did sign Joey Gallo as an outfield option. He's won a couple of gold gloves in-game, in sim. And we got him for not necessarily expensive, for $12 million for the next few years. I think he's going to be our center fielder, or at a minimum, he will be our right fielder. We need Nick Solak to take a step forward. He is great against lefties. He leaves something to be desired against righties, and he needs to step up offensively. Hopefully. Willie Calhoun needs to take a step forward because he has just not been good in sim at all. And also Bubba Thompson, has been our best of young center fielders here. Leody Taveras has been a letdown in the minors. Bubba Thompson is going to get some more reps this year in center field, but if he's bad, I mean, we may just need to move off him as well for a proven one. We do have Young is still our third baseman of the future. Apostle has developed nicely. Yanni Hernandez was good randomly last year, really good for the amount of at-bats he had. Andy Ibanez is here. He, for some reason, is fairly highly rated. So what we need, we're going to move off Kiner Falefa and Story. And hopefully, that means we're going to be able to find a reliever. That is the one place I feel like we're lacking right now. We have a really good core of starters. John Gray is our ace for now. Eventually, he'll be our 2 or 3. Jack Leiter is developing incredibly well, has been very good in the minors. We called him up at the end of last year for 13 starts. He pitched okay. He's going to be really good, hopefully low 80s by the end of this year. We hit on a draft pick. Alan Nishi has developed really well. He was good in the majors last year, has been really good in the minors. Colby Allard hopefully will continue to develop. If he's our third best starter or even our fourth best starter, I'm going to feel okay about it. And then we also have Cole Raggins here. These 4 guys, they just need time to develop. And then if Gray is somewhere between 2 and 4 in our rotation, I'd feel fine about it. We have him for 1 more year. We may try to move him next year, but for this year, he's for sure staying. We need pen help in a bad way. We have Ryan Tepera is our default closer. Leclerc started poorly last year, so he got demoted to setup man. But Tepera, I guess, is the closer for right now. And after that, there is not a lot. We picked up Britton. We could use another top-end arm. So I think that's what we're going to try to do right now, is move Kiner Falefa and Story for a reliever. But that is also what the roster is looking like going into spring training. And we're going to sim spring training and see who pops and who doesn't. But we are also going to make a move right now for a reliever. We also have Nate Pearson from the Jays. I can't decide if he's going to be a starter or reliever, but he's going to be around for the rest of the rebuild, so We will see. Trevor Story and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa are going to get us Garrett Crochet from the White Sox. I feel like that is a reasonable deal. They have a lot of budget and we do not, so that's going to move some money over to their side. And a pretty good arm over to our side. It adds a bat for the White Sox. It adds a couple of bats and an elite glove and Kiner-Falefa over there. So hopefully they take good care of him. I'm over the Trevor Story experiment. I thought it was a good idea. It turned out to not be. So we're going to move him. So Garrett Crochet, welcome to the Rangers. Let me make sure he is in the major leagues, and he is. At the end of spring training, we are 12-15. Not great. Could have been a little bit better, but I'm not worried about it. The lineup was okay. Wasn't amazing. It was okay. Solak could have been better. Thompson could have been a little bit better. Gallo hit 240, which is encouraging. Sam Huff hit 308. Calhoun could have been better. Ibanez played really well. He's going to have to start the year in the majors probably. Young needs to develop a little bit more. 182 in spring training. I know it was only 22 at bats. He's going to have to start AAA, I think. Yeah, and then as far as pitching goes, it looks like we were okay, at least rotation-wise. Gray was fine. Leiter was fine. Alan Nishi was really good. Allard also really good. Cole Ragans, not as good as we would have hoped for, to be honest with you. So he's on the bubble for me. I'm going to have to think about him. Our lineup is actually quite good. This is what we're going to roll with up until draft day. It's going to be Frazier batting leadoff. Just feel like he's the option here. We're going to move Seager down the lineup, see if we can't get some more, not offense out of him, but maybe some more RBI opportunities for him would be the correct term. So it's going to be Frazier, Suzuki, Seager, Semien, Lowe, Gallo, and that top six is quite good. You can argue amongst yourselves as to whether or not Gallo is going to be good in Sim or not. He's not going to have good average numbers, certainly, but he's going to play a Gold Glove level outfield and probably hit a ton of home runs, which is fine. And then Pozo hopefully continues to develop. And then Solak and Thompson are kind of meh. I want Thompson to get at bats, so we're putting Calhoun on the bench at least for the start of the year because we need to see what we have in Thompson. We just need to. He's got to develop into something. We need to see if he's a long-term option or if we need to go outside of the organization for offense. For AAA, important note here is Young is going to play third every game. It's going to happen. And he's going to bat higher in the lineup than second. He needs to develop. He is the third baseman of the future. We're going to figure out what to do with Frazier later. But for right now, he's the third baseman of the future. Apostle is probably the first baseman of the future, if I had to guess. We're probably going to wind up changing positions on him. We're going to rock with Gray, Leiter, Nishi, Allard, and then Spencer Howard in that order. Allard is technically a relief pitcher. I think I'm going to change him to be a starter, though. Because that's what he is in real life, and that's kind of what we've been using him as. Taylor Hearn's going to start as a long man. I guess we could split that, but I think Allard's potential is just too high for him to be a long man long-term in the majors. He's going to have to be a closer or something for that to even be worth it. Zach Britton's up to an 80. Tim Hill is here. Crochet, Leclerc, Tepera. We talked about all of them. We have a lot of lefties in the majors. Which isn't a bad thing, just an observation. But that's what we're starting with until draft day. So I'll catch up with you guys in a minute. And we are at draft day. Spencer Howard has been bad off the rip, but we are 28-21. Playing Oakland, who is 28-22. We are 3.5 back of the Astros. And let's see how the team has been doing. Spencer Howard's been doing bad. We know that immediately. Let's check on everybody else. Gray's been good. Leiter's been tough. That's okay, though. Nishi's been good. Allard's been pretty good. Howard's been terrible. So Taylor Hearn might have to slide in here for a minute. Britton has been quite good. We're going to have to move him up. I don't know how far we're going to be able to move him up, though. Chris Martin's been good, dude. Our entire bullpen has been incredible. Taylor Hearn's going to start over Howard for now. We might send Howard down, actually, because that is just not it. Let's check in how our AAA rotation is going. Raggins is not doing incredibly. Latz looks okay, though. Otto's doing pretty well. Hansen's doing really well. I wish he was a higher overall and we'd call him up like immediately. Otto's an option. Latz is also an option. Kloffenstein probably needs to start over Yeri Rodriguez. Forgot about him. He's an A potential starter. Well, as far as lineups go, Frazier is doing okay. Suzuki has 12 home runs already. That's good. Seager's hitting well. Simeon's hitting all right. Nate Lowe is having a down year. Gallo's being Gallo, basically. Pozo's doing okay. Solak's tough. Man. Bubba Thompson's actually hitting really well, and that is very encouraging. Yanni Hernandez continues to just be decent. Well, we needed more out of Solak, to be honest with you guys. That does put a damper on things. Frazier's been good. Seager's been really good. Let's check in on the AAA roster. Steele Walker needs to develop into something. He's probably getting moved at the deadline either way, to be honest with you, especially with the start Thompson has had. Yeah, Walker's been okay. Burrito's been really good. My lord. Young has just not been. Apostle's been really good. Apostle could get called up. He might be the first baseman of now if Lowe doesn't figure it out. Huff has been good. Traveras has been okay. Heim has been okay. White's been okay. How's Double A doing? Is there anybody down there of note? Not really. I want Solak to be good so badly, and he just is not. It's kind of upsetting me. Alright, we're going to sim to the draft, see if we can draft any studs. We'll see y'all in a second. We are drafting 7th. Interesting. And there is some sick players, but they just take so long to develop. Let's see here. Can we actually sort? Is that a thing we can do? I don't want to draft him. I want to sort. You should be able to draft. You should be able to sort these little things. So you can sort by potential. Which I guess it kind of already is, but still. Off the rip, John Rosario, the closer, looks like he is going to be a problem to face. And he looks like he's going to be ready pretty soon. He's 18. He also looks like he's like 45. So that's going to be a little bit concerning when he's eventually like 30 and looks like he's like 75. But we're just going to have to deal with that probably at this stage. The other guy, I'm glad he didn't get picked. Was that the guy I was looking at? The other guy I was looking at is Tyrese Burns. 80 velocity, 80 break. Pretty good per nines in theory, especially that walks per nine I think is attractive. We're going to take him. We're just going to see. If he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. I think we need to focus on pitching. Mark Story might be the guy. He looks like he's gonna rake. Does he have... He looks... If any of that is true, he looks like he's going to be incredible. So we're going to draft Mark Story. Okay, there is no way this is accurate scouting, but this is the best prospect I've ever seen. 75, this is graded on 80. 80 is as best you can scout. It's a 20-80 scale, so 20 is the worst, 80 is the best for those of you guys that don't know. 75 contact, 80 power, 80 vision, 80 discipline, 75 fielding, 80 arm, 75 accuracy. And he's got, I have no trust that he's going to be good. But we have to take him. we have to. He's literally too good. To like not pick. And if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But if he does work out, he might be the best player ever drafted by anybody. And we drafted Alan Nishi, I'm pretty sure. So what are you going to do about it, you know? What are you going to do? Okay, relievers are just a crapshoot, but that's really the one position we need at this stage. So I guess it's going to be Pablo Venezuela. Yep, didn't put a lot of thought into that. Don't feel like I really need to. There's like nobody left on the board at this point. So just, you know, we're going to draft Kendrick Bevis, and I think that was our last pick, so it is 6 rounds. Way to go. All right, let's see how good any of these players were, as Semien is not leading second base in votes, as has happened in the previous 2 seasons. Let's sign some draft picks. John Rosario looks very good as a closer, 91 potential. He looks like he could be ready to be in the majors like next year. The rest of these guys, gonna be honest, not great. Walter Hayashi is a 73 overall. He's got 72 potential, so I'm not even really sure how that's going to work. We're going to sign him just because he's so good already. Mark Story is really good already as well, so we're going to sign him because we may as well. Burns we're going to pass on. Valenzuela we're going to pass on. And Bevis we're going to pass on. So we're going to sign 3 of these guys. The rest can walk. I'm a little let down at the potential of Walter Hayashi. I thought he would have been better. All right, as far as lineup changes go, Solak's going to exclusively now play against lefties, and we're going to see if that helps him out. Calhoun's going to take at-bats against righties. And Andy Ibanez, I guess, should play somewhere because he's batting .304. Should he? Who's struggling? Nate Lowe is really struggling. But it's not enough for me to take him out in favor of Ibanez, I don't think. And Ibanez also doesn't play first, so that makes that decision really easy. Yeah, that makes that decision really easy. At the All-Star break, we are 48 and 42. And in 4th, technically. We are 3.5 back of the Astros. It is a very tight American League West, somehow. All of us are within like 5.5 games, and then the bottom 4 are within like 2.5. So, pretty crazy. Let's check in on the lineup to see how everybody's doing. Seager, I moved up to bat leadoff, made a couple lineup changes off screen. We'll just go over them now. Seager's batting leadoff now. Suzuki's batting 2. Semien has 20 home runs. He's been doing really well as of late. 271 average. Gallo are batting cleanup just to see if that can get him going a little bit. It hasn't worked to this point. Frazier would love a better average out of. Pozo's been fine. Everybody else has been fine. Calhoun's figuring it out, finally. Bubba Thompson has been okay. Even if he is just a career 9-hole hitter and can just be really good defensively, I think we would take that. And so far, that's what he's been. Ibanez off the bench has been very good, apparently. Solak's raising his average a little bit, I think, from the last time we checked in. And then Yanni Hernandez has been good randomly. The pitching rotation, as far as that goes, Grizz 8 and 4, Leiter is 5 and 6, a 4.11 ERA. Not as good as we would want, but also not terrible. He's developing a little bit. Nishi 3.39 ERA, the first time he's ever looked human. 5 and 7 win-loss, and then Allard has been honestly good. 7 and 5, he has a 3.92 ERA, and then Taylor Hearn's got a 4.43. Spencer Howard just is not it. He may be sent down for realsies this time. Zach Britton's been okay. Hill's been okay. Chris Martin we're going to promote because Leclerc has been terrible. Crochet has been quite good. So Crochet is actually going to be the closer. See if we can't get his overall up a little bit more. And that's kind of what we're looking at for the majors. I'm curious to see how the minor league rotation is going. So everybody seems pretty good, honestly. Latz has been good. Otto's been pretty good. Ragans has been decent. Hansen's been good. Kloffenstein has been, well, he's been. Apostle's going to get called up, I think. And he might play over low. I need to think about that. He may play over low for a minute just to see what we've got, because he is raking in the minors, and I think he deserves some major league at-bats. That might be something we have to do. Steele Walker's going to get moved. He just got to. He's not developing. We got to get something back for him. A potential outfielder. He's now 26. He's just not developing as fast as we need him to. Someone else can deal with him. We're going to probably get a pitcher or some other bat that's younger back. Even if he's not A potential, we got to move off Walker, I think, at this point. Let's check out the All-Star team. We did not. That's fine. Nothing crazy here. Haniger's a giant. Stanton still on the Yankees. Bichette apparently hits a lot of home runs. Alright, this I think is the best way to do it at this point. Castellanos is a Pirate. Ozzy Albies is here. Manuel Margot is here as a Cub. Riley, Swanson, Alonso, Harper, Machado, Freeman, Soto, Reynolds is still a Pirate. Tim Anderson is now a Giant. Varsho, Harold Ramirez, the Philly. Aguilar is a Marlin. Jose Ramirez is a Philly. Posey has transitioned over to the Cubs. And Narvaez is a Cub. That's it for position players on the National League side. Ozuna's a Marlin. I guess that's interesting. Everybody else here seems fairly standard overall, I would say. Let's check in on the American League side. Chris Martin made it. That's fun. He's having a really good year. 1.62 ERA for us. No other Rangers and 4 position players. Matt Olson is wearing 36 now. Interesting. Rhys Hoskins is a Yankee. Stanton's wearing 28. Semien made it. That's good. So Semien and Chris Martin are going to be our... Who does Delvin Perez play for? The Tigers. Yeah, Semien and Martin are going to be our lone All-Stars. Okay, we are going to go to the trade deadline, I think, and see if there's anybody available to snag. As of right now, though, I don't know that we need anything at this stage. Like, everybody seems like they're at least kind of plugging along. I wouldn't mind a catcher option, if we're being honest. But other than that, like, I would like for Frazier to be hitting better, to be honest with everybody. But other than that, like, if there's a big name catcher, I wouldn't mind it. How has our minor league catchers been doing? That's going to be something to look at. Sam Huff's been doing really well, but he just is not major league ready yet. He's just not. And Heim has left something to be desired. Neither of these guys are major league ready at this point. So a catcher maybe, even though Pozo's been okay. He's okay overall wise. He's just not there the rest of it wise, although he is developing. We'll trade Walker for prospects at a minimum. Young needs to figure it out. I don't know. Do we move off low so we can call up Apostle? That makes us worse now, but it might make us better in the long run. We'll think about it. We'll see. We're going to move Walker and maybe low, and we'll get back to you guys once we make a move. It is the next day, and I had to stop recording last night because I looked at the clock and it was like 3:30 a.m. and I had like a 7:30 a.m. meeting. So we're back the next day. I've done some thinking about it, and I think we're going to trade Lowe and Walker for some actual pitching that does not need to develop. Gray is fine, Leiter's fine, and then after that it's awfully tough. I'm okay with Leiter being spotty and Nishi being spotty and even Allard being spotty, but I think we can do better than Hearn. So, like, a high 80s pitcher, even a mid 80s pitcher, I think would be a step up from what we currently have. Even if he's not around long term, I just think that is the real need we have currently. Steele Walker and Dennis Santana are going to get us Cal Quantrill from the Giants, former Indian/Guardian farmhand. He's been pretty good this year. He's also an 85, so he immediately is our best starting pitcher to date, and he's controllable for the next 2 years. So I think this is a good deal all around. So we're going to go ahead and accept that, and we're probably going to have to send somebody down because now we're going to have too many people in the majors. We have been offered a trade by the Indians. I'm thinking about it. We are probably going to take this. We said we wanted to add pitching. Savale is 27. He's young. Nate Lowe, I was on the fence about. I think this is a good enough option that we can move on from Lowe and not feel too bad about it. He is being productive. He is pretty much the same as he was last year, and that is good, but that is also, I would say, relatively replaceable with the lineup we have and options in the minors. So we're going to go ahead and take this because it was offered to us, and it just feels like that's going to be the move, I think. So we're going to accept this. But Savale now is going to pitch over Allard, and we can probably send Hearn down now. That pushes Leiter and Nishi. That takes some of the pressure off of Leiter and Nishi, and suddenly our pitching is very good. Here's what we're looking at for down the stretch. We're going to have Ibanez play first, and he's on a short leash, because if that doesn't work, we're calling up Apostle, and probably Krim is going to play in the minors at first. Yeah, so we're going to give Ibanez till September, and if he stays even, if he stays fairly productive, we'll keep him through the rest of the year and just let Apostle develop in the minors. If not, we're going to call Apostle up right away and have no real qualms about it. Stopped a couple of weeks in to just check on the lineup. We are now tied for first. We are 62 and 52. In a three-way tie for first, as the American League West is just a disaster in this simulation, apparently. I wanted to check on Ibanez, who seems to be doing all right at this stage, which is a positive. We're going to continue going. As we get to September, we are a game and a half out of first place. We need to call up a couple of people. Who are we calling up? Apostle for sure. And maybe some pitching reinforcements. We need to call up 3 people. How is our AAA team doing? They're actually leading. That's good. Yeah, I'm going to figure out who to call up. I'll let you guys know. First decision's easy. We got to call up Apostle. He is batting .313 in AAA. He is a 78 overall at this point. We're going to have to move him to the majors. Probably Hearn. We'll move him back to the majors. We might call up Leody Taveras again. See if we can't get him some more at-bats at a major league level. Actually, we might call up Nate Pearson. We're going to call up Nate Pearson. So, bit of an issue. Not really an issue. Bit of a snag here in my whole plan. I was going to have Apostle come up and play first, because I just think that makes sense. Issue is that I don't want to bench Ibanez because he's hitting .406. So, Apostle is going to DH, I think, over Calhoun for a couple of weeks. And we will see what that does to everybody. Our AAA team has made the playoffs, and our AA team has made the playoffs. So, we're not going to stop simulating, but that's a positive thing, positive outlook. We are now 84 and 69. We are tied for the lead in the division. The Astros are a game out. What a race this has turned out to be. Oakland's kind of fallen off, but everybody else is reasonably close with a week to go. The Rough Riders have lost in the Central Championship Series. AAA has won the West Championship Series and is going to the World Series of AAA apparently. And the Rangers make the playoffs. We won the division at 89-74, and that does not equal 162, which does mean I think we had another game, 163. Taylor Hearn got the decision. I don't like that at all. What happened in this game? Can we view the box score? This is going to be very interesting. Solak played first for some reason. What an interesting lineup. Why is that the lineup we rolled out? Doesn't matter. I guess it worked. But my lord, can we stick to the lineup I have provided to you guys? Gray got the start. All right, let's check out how we faced Boston in the first round, so that's exciting. And we don't have another one-game play-in, so we don't have to play Houston to play in. We beat Seattle to not have to play Houston. We'll go take a look at the standings as we finished 89-74. Just a game and a half over the Mariners and Astros, respectively. Did anybody have any crazy records? The Red Sox won their division with 87 wins. The Marlins and Mets got in with 90. The Giants won 102. The Brewers won 101. The Braves won 95. It feels like the NL, record-wise at least, was better than the AL. And there's many reasons that could be. That could be for simulation reasons or whatever. We are the 16th ranked team right now in the major leagues, but we did win our division. I think our hitting is better than our pitching, but that'll come around. Let's take a look at some statistics for our team. Who led the team in what? Simeon led with hits, Frazier 2, Seager 3, Suzuki 4, Gallo 5, hit 254. That's really good from Gallo. Simeon hit 39 home runs, led the team. Gallo hit 32. That's a little bit lower than you'd want, but that's fine. Simeon is the only one that had 100 RBIs for us. And Solak and Simeon led the team in stolen bases with 11. We don't really steal bases, but we're also collectively not really that fast of a team. So I'm okay with it. Andy Ibanez had our best average at 308. Yanni Hernandez in like half a season, I guess, would be what that would equate to. Maybe a third of the season. Hit 303, which isn't bad as a utility guy. Seager hit 283. Not bad, not bad. Seager led the team in on base percentage. Did anybody have a crazy OPS? Simeon had an 860. Gallo led the team in walks. That's encouraging, 78. He's also going to lead the team in strikeouts by a lot. That's fine. Seager had 42 doubles. Simeon 39. A bunch of people had 4 triples. Seager, Simeon, Bubba Thompson, and Frazier all had 4 triples. Who led the team in WAR? And then we'll go check on pitchers. Gallo led the team in WAR. That tells me I think he won a Gold Glove then. 5.7 WAR, Seager 5.6, Simeon 5.3, Frazier 4, and the rest. Yanni Hernandez had a 2.1 WAR as a utility player that got 200 at-bats. What happened? Check out the pitchers. These are going to be a little bit skewed because these guys didn't all spend the entire year with us. Quantrill had 14 wins. Leiter had 13. Allard had 13. Civale had 10. Gray had 10. Nishi had 7. Martin went 7-1 somehow out of the pen. Interesting, interesting. Who ate the most innings? Civale did with 221. And Martin didn't really walk anybody. Leiter led the team in strikeouts. He's a pretty good K per 9 at this point. 187 strikeouts in 182 innings. Nobody else really came close to that. So that's good. ERA leader is Chris Martin, Tepera. The best starter would be Quantrill and then Leiter. Leiter being at the top of these is encouraging. He's up to an 84 overall already. So that's really good. Whip, Chris Martin led. Let's see. Any complete games? Civale had 3. And shutouts, Quantrill had 3. Gray and Leiter each had 1. Ryan Tepera led the team in saves. That feels fine. Let's check out some league leaders, see who led the league. Altuve led the league in batting average. J.D. Davis in the NL. Hits, nobody got over 200. Steven Duggar led the NL. Brandon Nimmo's a Pirate. Nobody hit 50 home runs. Vladdy had 48. Austin Riley had 42. Mitch Haniger, as we've covered, is a Giant. Nick Castellanos is a Pirate. RBIs, no Rangers. Also no Rangers on the home run side. Actually, Simeon got 7th. There you go, 39 home runs. Gets you 7th place. RBIs, no Rangers. Runs, it's going to be no Rangers. Stolen bases, no Rangers. We've covered. No Rangers on walks. On base percentage, Trout had 409. OPS, it's going to be interesting to see who they give the MVP to between Trout and Vladdy. Because I think that'll be fairly close the way the game kind of calculates it. Barrios had a nuts year. Dang, Savale up here, he's 3. Interesting year all around. But we are in the playoffs in year 3. We play Boston. Here we go. We're going to go game by game here against Boston. Sim through the date as our AAA team won the national championship. Sick. We win game 1 2-1. Can we win game 2? We do. Can we get the sweep of the Red Sox in Fenway? John Gray on the mound, former ace. On game 3, we lose 8-7. Jake Diekman gets the win. Tim Hill the loss for us. That is unfortunate. Game 4, we lose. It all comes down to Game 5. Can we win Game 5? Sale versus Nishi. And we win the division series. We're going on to face the White Sox. We beat one Sox to go on to face another. Quantrill has been quite good in the postseason to this point. Yeah, we're going to simulate the first 2 games here. We lose both. Not a great start. I think the White Sox probably are going to have an edge on us here. Unfortunately, as they did just sweep Houston, as there's your final 4. We need to just not get swept. Okay, we need to just not get swept. And we got swept, as we will sim the postseason. And the White Sox defeat the Mets in Year 3's World Series. We'll go check out the awards and then go to the offseason. For awards, Adam Engel won World Series MVP. Postseason MVP is Gavin Sheets and Luis Guillermo. Guillerme. I'm going to go Guillerme is how you're going to pronounce that. Is the NL MVP. MVP is Vlad in the AL. Matt Olson still an A. In Sim, obviously a Brave in real life. This is fictional, I think. It's not true. Whatever we started as are the rosters. So Olson is still in Oakland. I guess he hasn't been moved by the computer. DeGrom wins MVP in the NL. Had a monster year. Nearly 300 strikeouts, 2.69 ERA, 21-5. Really good year. Who won the Cy Young? It had to be DeGrom in the NL. Yep. Dylan Cease is here. Cool. Batting title is Altuve. J.D. Davis in the NL. Reliever of the year is Nick Anderson. No Rangers. Tyler Rogers in the NL. Rookie of the year is Robert Newstrom. No Rangers. It is Casey Costello in the National League, and that is kind of lackluster numbers, if we're being honest, from those guys from really both leagues. 18 home runs, 205 average, not crazy. Anyway, progressing here, Hank Aaron Award goes to Vlad, no Rangers. J.D. Davis in the NL. Gold Gloves, did we win any? Gallo might have. Eovaldi. Gary Sanchez won a Gold Glove, sick, for the Red Sox. What a simulation we live in. Ryan Mountcastle won one, as he's apparently now in AAA. So not sure how that works, but cool. Simeon did not win one. Interesting. Bregman at third. Trey Turner, the Oriole, at shortstop. What is happening? Newstrom. Okay, I guess that makes up for the Rookie of the Year. I'm not real sure how Gallo didn't win it. I guess Kiermaier is on the Yankees. He won it. They also didn't make him shave. But Gallo had more putouts and more assists and did not win the center field one. I feel a little bit snubbed. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Adam Engel in right. Did we win any Silver Sluggers? Marcus Semien won the Silver Slugger at second base. And no other Rangers. Okay, well, year 3, I would say is a success. We made some big moves. We're going to send him to the offseason, see what we need to do. Our only retired player was Matt Bush. He was like a 49 overall. My lord, at the end of his career. Not bad. Interesting route, interesting career. If you don't know that story, maybe look it up. Ian Desmond, Nationals legend, has retired. Cano has retired off the PEDs and onto the retirement train. Daniel Bard retired. There's another interesting one down here. Cueto retired. I think Greinke retired somewhere. Dyson retired. Fowler retired. Greinke retired. Those are the main ones. Kazmir retired. Those were the main ones. We're going to see if anybody made the Hall of Fame. Pujols made the Hall of Fame. He retired, I guess. Just short of 700 home runs. Cano also made the Hall of Fame. As we don't need coaching, we don't need to rebrand the team. We just need to do some exclusive contract negotiations. And Jose Leclerc is interesting. Leclerc is interesting because what we currently have is not bad. Like Crochet, I feel okay about. Martin was really good. I think he performed above his attributes, but still pretty good. Tepera is here and decent and around for, I believe, another year. I just don't know that we need to pay Leclerc that much money. I think we're going to take a look at what's, I mean, he's 30 now. What does he want? I guess is interesting. We need, I mean, 1.5 a year for Leclerc isn't bad. To be honest, even as like a 7th inning guy, as a jet flies over my house, sick. I think 4 for 1.5 a year isn't bad because he's not going to be our closer long term, but I wouldn't mind having him around as like a middle relief or even 8th inning guy. So we'll offer that. I'm not going to tender a qualifying offer because 1 year for $20 million just does not make sense for Leclerc. We can do better for sure. David Henley, 21 is a 77 overall already. Hello? Where have you been? Tucked in single A, apparently. Yeah, we'll add. Okay, works for me. That's going to get us to 39. We're going to move you to... Honestly, we're going to move you to the majors. Okay, we need to take a look at arbitration. Let's take a look at who's available in free agency. Jacob deGrom is here. And we have $70 million in budget. We could add some big name starting pitchers here. deGrom, Bauer, Ohtani, Flaherty are all here. Blake Snell is here. That's going to be a pass for me, but he is here. Julio Urias is here. Stroman is here. Just every starting pitcher you could ever think of is here. But we're going to go and offer arbitration and tender contracts, and then I'll check in with you guys in a second. First order of business, Crochet. 3 a year for Crochet. Feels fine. We're going to offer it to him. We offered arbitration to Quantrill and Savale. We're going to offer arbitration to Pozo as well. We're going to bump that number up a little bit as well. I wouldn't mind signing Pozo to a number. 5 feels kind of like a lot for like $4 million. Again, Pozo is fine. I just think we can do better long term, but if he's the catcher long term, also I'm not upset about that. Quantrill and Savale just want too much, in my opinion. It's a situation where we don't need to offer them that much, I don't think. Yanni Hernandez has been good. I think we need to reward him in some way. We're going to bump his arbitration way up. And we'll also, particularly want to sign him to more than a couple million. I think like $2 million a year is fine for Hernandez. He could take it or leave it at this point. Arbitration is fine either way. So we'll try to keep him. Hearn, I would like to keep around. I'll offer arbitration on him. And maybe sign him. We're going to sit on it. We have a lot of starting pitchers. I don't know that we need to keep him. Spencer Howard's in the same boat. We'll offer arbitration on him just to kick that can down the road a little bit. I don't think we need to keep him. We have decent pitching now, and we have the ability to get more. Tim Hill is 34. And on his last year of arbitration, what would a contract look like to get him? What if we go 2 years and bump the money a little bit? Could be it. We have $23 million in pending offers already. So we're already to like $40 million, I guess, in budget left. Chris Martin, we're going to offer arbitration on. Bump that number a little bit. And let's see what it costs to get him. 2 years for 1.7. Honestly, not terrible. We'll take it. He's a bit older. But for what he is, we're going to reward him for last season. Everybody else, we're going to sit on. Quantrill and Civale, we might sign back. Or we might sign back like one of them. We'll have to see. We'll have to think about it for a minute. But I'm not in a hurry to do that because arbitration. So we'll think about it. I'm going to go tender a bunch of contracts now. So I'll be back in a second again. Okay, we've offered on everybody I feel like we probably need to at this point. Yeah, at this point, we have some money. We're going to have about $32-ish million left to spend in free agency, and there are some big names. But if we sign a pitcher, I don't feel the need to bring Quantrill and Civale back. So we look at kind of our rotation right now, and it is quite good. Leiter's already an 84. I don't know that we need to bring both these guys back, to be honest. Maybe we could bring them back and use one as trade bait. Allard, I would love to have in the rotation long term. Nishi would be cool to have in the rotation long term. Gray is gone after this year, so I guess potentially we could move him. And he's got $14 million, so we could see what we could get for him. Maybe some prospects to rebolster the farm system. But like, our pitching is quite good. But that also does not necessarily mean we are not above offering on some of these guys. So DeGrom's got 1 year, 31 mil offer. That would pretty much be all of our money, which wouldn't be a horrible thing, I guess. 6 for 182 for Bauer doesn't feel terrible. How old is he? 33? DeGrom's 35. I mean, we could have DeGrom for a couple of years and just make a legitimate run here. Jack Flaherty might be the guy we go after. To be honest, what would an offer on him look like? If we went... He wants shorter, huh? Interesting. If we went like 3 years... but did like 28 a year. 28.5 a year. What does that do to our pending offers? So that gives us like $3 million to play with, so we could potentially bring in a couple of like smaller relievers if we needed to. Ohtani feels like he's going to be rather expensive, if I had to guess, and also for some reason in simulation he is not simmed that well as far as pitching numbers go. I don't really know why that's true. He just hasn't. There are some bullpen options. Jordan Hicks is an interesting one. The question, I guess, is do we need... What kind of position players are we looking at? I don't think we need a position player. McMahon, I guess, would be the one interesting one. We have an abundance of position players at this stage. Like, I mean, I'm always looking for an outfielder. There's none here that blow me away. So really, it's all about pitching in this class between Bauer, DeGrom, Ohtani, and Flaherty as the top four. I feel like we gotta try to land one of them at least. And so signing Flaherty would be a big win for us. And then if we sign Flaherty, we could potentially move off of John Gray, because he's on the last year of his deal. Just try to get anything back. I think that's what we're gonna do. And if we don't get him, we don't get him. Rhys Hoskins is a Met, because of course Ohtani's a Red. The 40-man we've already done, so that's fine. Matt Olson is now a Tampa Bay Ray. Interesting. Ozuna is a Giant. Graveman's a Nat. Is our offer still up for Flaherty? It is. Do we have anybody competing with us here? They're competing. They're not real close. The pitchers are flying off the board at this point. Bauer is still here. Urias is still here. People are just not offering Urias any money for whatever reason. Blake Snell, people are offering on over Urias is really interesting to me. And Urias is younger. That doesn't make any sense to me at all. Luis Castillo could be a good fallback for us as well. He's 31. There are other options if we don't get him. I would love to get him, but if we don't, there are certainly other options. Jordan Hicks would be a good fallback out of the pen. Marcus Stroman is a Padre. Reynaldo Lopez is now a Red Sox. Would you like to stop simulating? Yes. Blake Snell is a Cub. Jack Flaherty is a Texas Ranger. Let's go. That's the big one. All right. So let's go ahead and stop simulating. Okay, so now we have roughly like $3 million to spend in free agency. So that's the big one. Oh, I know. Let's go trade Gray. Let's see what we can get for Gray. Okay, of all the ones that were offered, I just don't want to go through and seek out a better one. 2A potential prospects in Blade and Ortega, and a C potential shortstop in DaCosta. For Jonathan Gray feels fine. That's going to open up some money for us, as we will offer that and accept it. Although we do have 15 more to spend now that we've done that. So we could bring in Hicks. Hicks is the last big reliever, and that is the last big spot I deem that we need for the next year, as we're going to slot in Jack Flaherty here. That is the last big thing I feel like we need, is relief help. We don't have a big arm in the pen. Hicks could be that, because our bullpen is kind of middling. Crochet eventually will be very good. He just is not very good yet. He's an 83, so he's not bad, but he could be better. And Tepera is getting older, and also he's on the last year of his deal. So we do need to kind of think about that. I think we are going to offer on Hicks. I think the lineup is fine, as I've said. I don't feel the need to bring in anybody. If anything, we're going to trade a bat. But I think offering on Hicks would be a decent thing. And then I think we're pretty much done in free agency for the remainder of this season at a minimum. So we have, what is that? We have about $18 million a year to spend here. So he's going to be well under that. As a closer for 5 years, I wouldn't hate that. 5 years for 7.2 a year. We'll see if that gets it done. Maybe even 7. We'll see if that gets it done, and then the video will be over. I don't think anybody tops that. Yeah, I mean, we're well ahead of the Mets here. I think that will be fine as a closer, because he's also going to get better in theory. And if we get Hicks, we get him. If we don't, we don't. Because we can also probably trade for another. We have 41 men on our 40-man roster. Cool. Chicago has claimed Yuri Rodriguez. That's fine. Lamet is a Red Sox. Jordan Hicks is a Texas Ranger. We're going to go clear a spot, and then we're going to go into Season 4. So that's going to do it for the video, guys. We made some legitimate gains here towards becoming a World Series contender. We added Flaherty, and we added Hicks, and we added Crochet. The reinforcements are here. Where is Hicks? Hicks, buddy. All right, Hicks is going to be here. Chris Martin's going back to middle relief. This is what we're kind of looking at. This is a stud team. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you made it to this part in the video, comment the word pennant, and we'll catch you all in the next one.